welcome back to the channel. So we're back in the trailer again. So we've just come back from Truckfest Malvern. Show went really well, but on the very last show the truck started to get warm. It didn't get hot, it just got warm. And Georgina got back into the trucks and said the temperature at the truck is just coming up to 100. So didn't get silly hot, but all weekend it's been running at about 80 to 90. So it got up to 100. But it doesn't matter because the monster truck was shut off. We left the water pump running, but she said the electric fans aren't running on the back. So the electric fans are mounted down under there. And I've gone through the electrics and they're getting 12 volts to them. But they do not spin. They have seized. I think both of them are seized. I don't know if one seized and we didn't realise it because we could hear the fans running. But both have seized. So I'm going to take these out now and then drop them back up to my supplier, and they said they're going to have a look at them under warranty. But because I need to get the trunks right, if things going for warranty, you don't get a replacement there and then. So I'm going to buy another pair of fans and then going to hopefully get these ones replaced under warranty, so I'll have 2 spares in. But it's quite a bit to take off because I have to take out all the top of the radiator, all the water system to get that out. So I should have filmed this in the trailer because that is where I spot it. So everything looks fairly good here. As you can see, everything looks like it lines up until you go around here. Now, I noticed when I was checking the fans on the radiator that I found that. That is not good. So that is a big crack in the thing. But for it to drop down like that, it has to have moved somewhere else. So when you stand back and look at the truck, it doesn't look too bad because all the shock absorbers and that cover all the damage. The other damage is hidden under here. It's ripped it there as well. And if you can, when I take it all this apart, you'd see this is all brand new. Look, that's brand new shiny metal. And that hasn't ripped. That is not a weld there. That is a tube. It's just ripped the tube. Now, probably what it is, where this chassis is quite old, it gets a bit of metal fatigue. All that movement of the shock absorbers pushing up on that, eventually it gets metal fatigue, and that is what's happened there. So we've got to take most of the back of the truck off. We've got to take all the bedside off, all the shocks off, the fuel tank out, the radiator out. I can probably leave the engine in. And we'll see how bent and much twisted that it's made this chassis. But yeah, it's going to be quite a bit of work, but we've got to get it done because we've got more shows to come. So I've been getting on really well with stripping the truck down. We're not there yet. I've still got to get the fuel tank out, but I'll flip the camera around so you can see where the damage is. Wow, look at that. So what has happened is this bit has let go. This has gone up, and that's why it's broken there. So at the moment, this shock tower is too tall. So we need to either chop it off or try and pull it back down. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut this tube through there, and I'm gonna cut this tube through there, and hopefully I can work out if that is straight between that point there and that point there. The longer I make it, the more chance I can get to be straight. You can see where the bend is here. But hopefully if I put a joint in here, very close to this piece of tube will stop that from going up. So I think it's probably straight from about there, and it's probably straight from about here. But this bit, the bottom bit's straight, the top bit isn't. You can see where why this one is definitely going uphill, because that is where it's ripped. Now it's ripped clean through it. So that hasn't broken on the weld. The weld is nice and clean. It's just broke the tube, and the same on the top one. It's all clean. You can see a little bit of rust in there, but that is just because it's unpainted on the inside of the tube. And that bit's probably replaced that tube there 6 years ago. That tube has been changed. But this tube here, I haven't changed this one for a while. The whole of the back of the truck has been off at one point. So everything has been cut off from where the engine is backwards. So all that is new at one point. So yeah, so I've just got to straighten it up, work out where we are. So I've gone through the electric fans And what I thought were the fans, they have absolutely seized, both of them. Yeah. So they're going to go back for a warranty. I haven't cleaned them up. That's how clean they were when they come off the truck. But that's the plate that mounts onto the back of the radiator. So yeah, so got a little bit more to do. Want to get the fuel tank out, but just in case I spill any fuel. You can see on the floor, I've caught most of the fuel. That is actually antifreeze. The antifreeze, when you're taking the radiator out, it gets absolutely everywhere. So I'm going to get the fuel tank out now and take all the lines off and then wash everything down, and then I can come back in the morning and then start cutting tubes out so we can work out what's straight. Okay, so it's the next day. I washed it all down last night. It's all dry now. So the next thing we're doing is trying to set up the truck so we know it's in a good state of levelness. So I've got one of my level gauges on there. You can read that. So that's nearly at 0. Let's put it on the back. So this piece is there.
Pretty close.
That's pretty close to 0. It's not perfect, because you can guarantee that the truck has twisted over a period of time anyway. So I'm pretty, that was it. That's all within half a degree of being level. So I'm pretty happy with that. So now we're going to get some stands out and put some stands under the truck to hold the chassis where it needs to be. And then we can look about getting things straight again. What we're going to have to cut off, move. We've got to wrap up the engine. So I've got some, basically shrink wrap the engine so we don't get any dirt or grit or anything in there. Got to still take out a couple of the power lines and cables down the side just to clear it up. Should be able to leave the pump in, I think. I might just cover that up as well. Yeah, so let's start getting to work, Georgina.
I know.
Yeah. Actually, I'm going to get my big grinder, and I can cut it through in one go. Well, that's that one out.
The reason why we had to get rid of this bar anyway is because when we attempted to move this down, that bar actually got in the way and started touching this.
I'm going to start to cut the rest of this out now.
Oh yeah, okay.
Got to be careful with it because you might want to pinch the blade. So I might just take the pressure out of this first by cutting a couple of V's in it, and then I can cut it back to where I'm going to cut it back. It's going to get cut back to about there somewhere.
That big angle grinder's nuts.
Yeah, so if you look through here, so you can see where it moves. So by cutting the V in it, if I was all the way down there...
It's a different angle now.
Yeah, if I was all the way down there and it suddenly just pinched up, it would break the angle grinder. So by cutting the V on it, it doesn't get pinched in it. So now we can just come up and clean all this stuff up now.
Yeah.
Because now all the pressure's taken out of it. You have to do the same in that one as well.
Yep.
And then we can start to try and clean all the bits up.
So we got rid of this bit, and now we're going to get rid of this bit. Another part off the truck. Look at that. It's proper pinched, that tube. Well, we've definitely isolated that one bar now.
Yeah.
Now it's got to fix it again.
Now, so the next thing we got to try and do is take out all of this bit that's broken.
Yep. Looks pretty tricky.
That is tricky, but we just got to try it. We might end up having to take out some more of this.
Yeah, unfortunately this bit, it's this bit that holds the radiator in, and then also we got this which holds the water pump in. So it's going to be a bit of a nightmare, isn't it, to get it all back to how it used to be.
Yeah, so let's just start to get in there with the little grinder now, start cutting pieces off now.
Little update on the monster truck fixing. So we've got rid of this tube. That's not there anymore.
So that tube had a crack in the bottom of it in here.
And so does this one, actually.
So does this one's got a crack in the bottom of it as well. So all this X-brace is going to go because that's all going to be new. We've got to chop the bottom of this out now.
Yeah, the last time you saw this had well, it was almost a C shape, but now it's completely...
Yeah, so it's hollow in the bottom. We've still got the piece in the top, but that's nearly ready to come out. So that's the piece in the top of that is the top of this tube. So I've nearly got that clear now. But yeah, so I've got to chop that off now.
There's not much holding this tube on now. It's just literally...
Well, yeah.
It's this bit.
Well, no, there's still 3 pieces. So it's this one and those 2.
I know.
Which is also going to make it easier for when we pull this thing back into straight. Because what happened when we cut this piece out?
It keep going like donk.
It keeps on coming down because there was the bits of metal were actually holding it up where it had ripped and got bigger. So if you get a 2-inch piece of tube and look at that, that almost is the right size already.
Yeah.
Once soon I've got that top piece out, and then we're gonna have to clean up this. So what I'll probably do is I'll weld onto the end of that and then make the proper fish mouth, just to save changing that tube. It's all, this is gonna get I'm gonna probably put some gussets and stuff in there anyway, so just that little bit of that bit there missing isn't gonna be a problem. Time it's all welded up, got the new tubes on it, because it's gonna have another tube in the side of it like that. So there's gonna be lots of bits holding it together. But yes, we've got to take out the X-brace now, and I have to take out all of it because that is the first tube.
Yeah.
If it had been that one, it'd have been a lot easier. But no, so we're going to take both the X-braces out now. So it's a lot more cleaning.
Tell you what, it's a good job. When we went to do our winter upgrades and we put the new tubes in at the bottom, we ordered loads of new tubes. So we ain't going to run out of metal anytime soon.
And metal's cheap.
Yeah.
Oh, it's cheaper than monster truck bits anyway.
Yeah, exactly that.
Metal's cheap.
Let's crack on then.
Okay, so we're starting to actually look at putting tubes back in. So this will be the tube that's going to go in here. So that'll be the tube that goes in there. But what goes inside it? So to do an approved repair on a monster truck, there's actually a piece of metal that goes inside this. So it'll slide inside there and inside this. Now it goes 3 inches past where the joint is. So it'll be 3 inches that way, 3 inches that way, and the same on this end. But what we have to do is we'll put the piece of metal in there, and then we'd have to pull the pieces through because they're going to be in this. So we're going to put a piece of wire in here and drill a hole here so we can pull the slug through to locate it. Otherwise you can't get it in there. Yeah, so we got to do that, and then we're going to do the same in there and the same in here, and that'll join all these pieces back together. Then it'll be a new tube that goes across there, brand new tube across there. New exit in and a brand new tube in there, and then it'll be finished. It goes quite quick when you talk about it.
Yeah. And then we're thinking of putting an extra bar from this bit here straight up to there on either side, and we're getting rid of that was our old petrol system, and it doesn't work at the minute, so we're just going to get rid of it, aren't we?
Yep, that's going to go as well. All right, let's carry on cutting more tubes and sanding more bits off. Right, so we are getting there. So this is what I was on about, the slugs. So these pieces of metal slide inside the tube, and we're going to go at least 3 inches past it. So then when we have the tube there, we're going to spot weld into there and then do a full penetration weld all the way around. And we can actually sand that down so it doesn't look like there's a joint in it. But yeah, so we've actually got the chassis back. So this tower is back where it should be now. So we've got the level on the top, it's level at the top. Everything all lines back up. Look at that for a fitment. So that's the 2 slugs slid inside each other and they line up almost perfectly. So yeah, and it's a really snug fit. Listen to this. You ready? It goes pop when you pull it out. Do it again.
It's a cool noise.
It's a cool noise, yeah. But yeah, so just got to cut the other pieces of metal now and get it sat in, and then we can put all the other cross metal. I've just got to finish cleaning up all round here. So I've chopped it roughly now. So I've just got to go in there with a sander and sand all this up. I've sanded most of the other stuff up. And then we can start putting tubes back in. It's a productive day so far. So what's the time now?
About 3-ish.
About 3-ish, and we started it just after 10?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we had to go and get some of the electric fans for that. So yes, we've got them now. Yeah, so I should probably have some tubes back in by the end of the day. It's just coming up to 4 o'clock now, and we started getting tubes back in. So we've got this bottom tube, that is all repaired now.
Very hot.
It's still really hot, so just showing you how it's done. So that was the slugs we were showing you earlier. So there's a plug hole welded in there. So we're going to weld that up. I've just got to sand a bit more around it. So you can see through there, so it's welded. So the plug goes in this hole here, and then it ends up with a gap like that. So we end up with a 6mm gap. So when we weld this tube, it welds to that tube, and the slug all the way around. And we do the same there, and then we can do the normal welds all around the joints, and then we sand them back. So that's what that's been done. So that's had the join all the way through the middle. And on this one, because I can't make that one 3 inches past it, what I've done, I'll take it out, it's welded all the way around on the plug on the inside. So that is not going anyway.
So tomorrow we've just got to finish.
Yeah, tomorrow this should all be finished with all the new cross braces, the X braces and everything. Everything should be back together tomorrow.
And then we're going to have another look round, make sure we haven't missed any other cracks.
Any cracks, yeah.
And then try, if there is, they will fix them. If not, we're good.
Yeah.
So it's the next day of fixing the monster truck, but the upholstery has been finished for my seats. This is what it looks like now. Got the 2 pieces. On the last bit of the vlog, you haven't seen this bit, so we put a piece for my back, so it gives it a little bit more support. And we've also almost finished with the pedal box. Now, it's not bolted into the floor yet, but it's coming on pretty well. I'll get Dad to come and film me so you can see what it looks like when I'm in it. Yeah, so this is what it looks like now. So it's at the right height and everything. And then also my pedal, my feet situation's a lot better now. It's obviously, like I said, it's not bolted in yet, so it's a bit slippery. But now my feet aren't dangling in the air when I'm trying to reach the pedals, which is very helpful. As well, like we've shown in the last video, we still got this for my rear steer. And just got confirmation yesterday that my new fire suit is leaving France at the end of this week. So hopefully soon I'll have my own fire suit as well. It's going to be pretty cool. Back to actually fixing the monster truck. Dad's already got one insert in using the rod to push it in, and now he's got to do
this side now. On this slug that's going to slide out in a second.
There you go, you can just see it in there. So Dad's just pushing it with that rod. Bit fiddly, but
it is a bit fiddly, yeah.
Because you've basically got almost no control over it. Yeah. Oh, did we go past it?
It just gone past it. Right, I have to try and slide it back a bit now.
How do we do that?
Because I can slide it this way and then get some pliers and pull it back now, I think. Let's see if I can get it back. I literally have just gone past it.
It's like, boom.
Yeah.
So we pulled it back, we used a pair of scissors, and now it's pointing directly at the line now. So that's
now all I've got to do then is weld up this hole now.
Yep.
So we don't need that hole. That hole was only there so I can push the rod either way and not leave anything inside the tube. And then once that's done, then we can drop this slug that's held up with the tape down when we put that piece in place.
So Dad's just welded the plugs up. This is what it looks like. So now we're about to buzz it off so it's nice and smooth.
Yeah, so I've just tacked these ones in place so everything moves. Now I'm going to sand this one off so then I can drop the last tube back in, and then we've got a lot of welding and a lot of sanding. I've just got to get my little air sander around and sand all of this under here now. You've got that right the wrong way.
Cut.
No, I can't get it out now because you won't go up and spin. Doesn't matter.
Oh, you plonker.
Plonker! That well was meant to be at the back, but it doesn't matter. It's going to send it down, you won't see it anyway.
Well, what do I say now?
Oh, are you videoing?
Yeah, I was videoing.
Oh. It doesn't matter. So ideally that hole was going to be at the back.
Yeah, accidentally just put it on the wrong way round.
I'll put that around, and now it's such a good fit. It doesn't actually spin, and I don't know. I might be able to push it back up. So have a look at it now. It's all welded back together. So all nice big beads around there. Of course, where the join is, that's all been finished back. All the plug welds have been sanded down. So we know what's inside it, but nobody else. If they've not seen how we've done this on the video, they wouldn't know that has been repaired. All we've got to do now is start to put in some cross braces that go across there and put the X back in.
And this bit.
Oh yeah, and that bit. We've got to make that bit up yet, but we're going to put the X in first.
We haven't actually explained this, but so what we're going to do is we're going to take the same size tube as this, and we're going to have one go from that bit to there, and then we'll do the same for the other side to make that exactly the same, won't we?
Yeah, and then we got to put another one up in here.
Yep, another one there. So hopefully all the repairs and the modification should make it even better than what it was before.
Yeah, we've been forgetting to keep updating you on what we're doing.
We have made huge progress.
Yeah, so
check this out. All the shiny bars are the ones we just added. So
a lot of them aren't welded in yet, so they're just, and they're such a tight fit.
So we got this one's a new one, and we also done that and this. And the X.
And all the bit in the middle.
Oh yeah.
So we decided to try and give this some more strength in this area, because that's the bit it ripped up. This is tying it straight into there because there's nowhere for that. That's weld underneath that. So, and then also that one now is tied into this one. This one is straight onto there, and that's another triangle. So that makes that even stronger. Triangles is what makes stuff strong because it transfers the load to another place and then it spreads it out. So that is why the monster truck's got lots of triangles in it. If you see a tube, it normally goes to another tube. That's why I wouldn't put one in there, because it doesn't actually go anywhere.
Unless you would do that to that, but it makes getting the engine out a pain.
It makes getting the engine out a nightmare if you put that one in there. But yeah, so that one there goes up to there, makes the triangle, and it's trying to push that and bend all of this, and it can't because that's on there. If you put one in there, it would try and bend that, and it would bend it quite easily because it's got nowhere for the load to go. So the idea of that one there is pulling down through here all the way to where the 4-link bar is. So yeah, so we got to just do a couple on the other side. They're all cut. We just got to finish doing all the fish mouths. Broke a belt on the linisher. So that is what we use to make the fish mouths. So that's been on there for a while and it's worn out. And you can see where I caught it on a tube a bit too hard, ripped it, but we put another bait on because I had them in stock. And
more of it got to get gas for the welder.
Reason why we just carried on with that because I ran out of gas from a welder, and the place I get it from is on the way home, so there's no point going there and then coming all the way back with it. We might as well just carry on making tubes because welding is fairly quick compared to making all the tubes.
Yeah, so you've been doing all the angles, I've been doing all the cutting on the bandsaw.
Yeah.
So this tube at the start of the day was very long. It's now quite small.
Yeah, but we've cut all the other ones and we've marked down all the fish mouths.
Yeah. So for example, this one here, this one, that is almost ready to go in on this side. Just need to get rid of that because we're not using that anymore. And that one's done. And then
also we're putting a couple of extra bars in here, aren't we, as well now?
Yeah, so this is the fuel tank area. This is where the bottom it sits. We used to have rubber sort of foamy pads, so so the fuel tank couldn't move that way, even though it's bolted in. But we decided to not do that and just have a metal bar instead that holds way more.
Fairly close to the fuel tank, so you can still get it in and out.
Yeah.
But it's fairly close to it, so yeah. So we're going to put that in as well because we're at the stage now where we might as well do all the little bits. Because
everything's out.
Everything's out, so we might as well do it now. Yeah. Georgina's been going around looking for other cranks, and you found one other one.
Yeah.
Up on there, what we just need to have a look at. But the rest of it looks in good nick.
It's just surprising. That corner just broke.
There and then, yeah. But you think how many jumps this truck has done in its life.
Yeah. He was doing some pretty good jumps at Malvern.
Yeah,
so.
But you got to bear in mind that the truck is old.
Yeah.
And you think how many jumps it does in its lifetime.
It's got to do at least over like 200 jumps a year.
Miles more than that.
Yeah, exactly.
Miles more than that.
Exactly. Yeah. I think the truck looks really cool with the new chassis design we've done on it.
Yeah.
I haven't really.
And you like this bit because these bits are also in the same angle.
Yeah, it's
and that are exactly the same.
Yeah, well, check this out. If I turn this back on, so 21.3, and if I put that in here, it is pretty much identical.
21.39.
Yeah, it's pretty much identical, so it gives us a really nice effect on it as well.
Yeah.
Tomorrow we should pretty much have everything finished.
We should be back to. We should have it painted tomorrow.
Yeah, we doing primer and then black.
If we can, yeah. If not, it'll just be black because I want to paint it all tomorrow.
But then I suppose after putting everything back together again, we got to carry on doing my pedals, I suppose.
Yeah, but the pedals are almost done though, aren't they?
Yeah, just got to get riveted on.
And yeah, so we're going to put some riv nuts in there.
Yeah.
And then bolts, but a couple of bolts for the other bit. Okay, better stop. We got the radio on in the background, and of course it's HGV1, but we're nearly there. So Alexa, stop. Right, so we stopped the music. Just sanding off the last little bits of splatter now. But all the truck is now welded back together. All the X's are in, the extra tubes are in. Yeah, so it should be a lot stronger now because we put all this extra bit in there. Really would like to put some in here, like a gusset and stuff, but we have to get our hands in here to get to all the radiator and all the controls behind there. So there's quite a bit of stuff you have to get to in there. But also we got to get to where the bolts go through to hold the fuel tank in. And by filling this bit in here would absolutely make it a nightmare to go to. But it's lasted that long without all that extra gussets in it, but now it's got loads more in it.
You haven't shown this.
Oh yeah, so we've even changed. So that's the main rail, and then we put this extra tube in here. So this is what the fuel tank is going to wedge against. Before we had like a bit that bolted in to stop the fuel tanks going from side to side, but now it's got two complete rails, the whole length of the fuel tank. So it shouldn't, well, it won't split the fuel tank. It never used to split it before, but I just thought that makes it a lot easier to hold everything in. Right, bit more sanding, and then we can start putting some paint on.
We are onto the painting stage, and we almost finished it.
Yeah.
I'll take you around the other side that we've pretty much finished. Look at that. Look how shiny it is. It looks pretty.
And not broken.
Well, that's the main bit, yeah, and not broken.
I don't know where we're up to, but we're starting to go back together. So all the fuel tanks back in, the radiator's back in, it's all plumbed up. The only thing is we haven't done this hose up yet because we have to try and get all the air out of it, and that's the easiest way, is to backfill it through there. So I'm putting on the shock absorbers. I've already put one side on, I've just got this side to put on. How heavy are these, Georgina?
Too heavy.
Too heavy. Could you put this on your own?
I mean, I could, but I would struggle quite a bit.
All right. There is a knack to getting them on.
They probably weigh more than me, to be honest.
Yeah. So you start that one off, and then this bottom one will not go in at the minute. And because they're monster truck shock absorbers, you have a job to push this in and out. So what I do, we've got the thing for the jack, and then we jack the truck up till it gets to the right height, and then drop it in the hole. So that should be close to it now. Take the bolt out, drop it in there, let the jack down.
Bit more.
Down there somewhere.
You're probably quite close, but I think it might need to go down a smidge.
It's just like a guillotine.
Stop.
There.
I think that's it there.
That feels pretty good.
Maybe a smidge more. It's pretty close though. Oh, we got it.
So that's how you get the shock absorbers back on. You put the top one in, put the bolt through, lift the truck up and down so you get the bottom one in, and repeat. Okay, so it's all back together. Let's pull it over to the side, and then we can wash it and clean it and get rid of all the swarf and stuff that we've been grinding.
got it on the seat.
It would help if you come down a bit.
All right, fine.
I was going to smack you with it, that's why I put it on the seat.
Oh.
Because I can do that. So we're all clean now. Look at that. Didn't it come out nice? I so love this chrome wrap, but it's so hard work to keep it looking good. So we're all going to load it back into the trailer now. We're off to the Ford show this weekend, so that's going to be the next video, is the Ford show from Santa Pod. Let's get the petrol in the top. Probably going to take a couple of goes to get it going again, and then we load it in the trailer. Don't forget to share, like and subscribe. I can't see anything.
Take me in the smoke.